Isolation is a major threat to your health, and connection is the antidote. When we're young, it's pretty obvious, right? If you are totally isolated, there'll be no one to feed you, no one to shelter you, and it is a major threat to your life. As we age, though, the amygdala carries this through. So whenever we feel isolated, whenever we're not connecting in a healthy way, our stress levels are higher. Our anxiety is higher. And that's really telling us that we are a collaborative being and we need connection to feel safe, to feel happy, to feel relaxed. But have you ever gone to one of those parties and you're talking to someone and they're talking and then you're talking and it's very energetic and you're saying interesting things and they're saying interesting things and it feels super exciting and you go home and you are just wiped out? Then you can have a talk with, say, your best friend. She's there for you and she listens or he listens and holds space for you. And you go home and you feel so full. You feel so calm, so relaxed. And so what's the difference between those experiences and what does connection have to do with it? It's active listening. And that's what this video is going to cover. And in the end, if you can get really good at connecting, really good at active listening, you can build love in your personal life. You can build love with all of your friends to whatever extent you want. So let's get going. In part 1, I'm going to cover the levels of listening. There's 3 levels. Then I'm going to talk about how to really be present in a conversation. And then I'm going to talk about wait, which is why am I talking? That is the power of silence. Part 2, we're going to jump into more how-tos, powerful questions, articulating what's going on, acknowledging the other person. So let's jump in. There are 3 levels of listening. Level 1 is what we normally do. We just prepare to answer. So we're quiet, the other person's talking, and we're thinking, that makes sense, that makes sense. Probably not interrupting, but you're just waiting for the person to say what they're going to say so that you can say what you're going to say. That's that first exciting conversation at the party where they say something and you share something hopefully related, and it's a, quote, conversation. Level 2 is you get really interested in what the other person's saying. You get curious about them. You ask follow-up questions. You dive deeper. You get to know them. That's a great level to be at. And level 3 is you sense the energy between you. You sense that there's a bubble being created. You sense that there's an energy of warmth or of excitement of what's being created. So there's almost like a third person in this conversation. That third person is the energy, the relationship, the container that holds the two of you. What does this have to do with active listening? If you could stay in that level 2 and level 3, asking questions and feeling the energy, noticing the energy, bringing up the energy. Hey, I noticed that there's this really positive energy. Are you feeling it too? It can create this incredible connection. Or you can feel the energy from the other person and say, gosh, are you sad today? Is something going on? That's level 3. So if you stay in level 2 and level 3, you can build a stronger connection. You build that container that's around the two of you. Number 2, how do you stay present in a conversation? Did you ever been in a conversation where you're listening to someone and they're going on and you're thinking about your email or what you need to do next? It's like 90% of the time, right? We have so much to do. Our life is about multitasking. So how are you present? How can you get present? The only way to do that is to connect with your now and be the witness for that other person. I notice that you're saying this. You look like you just tightened up. Now, you don't want to get too critical here, so a great thing to do is ask a question. What's going on for you right now? Or what's that like for you? Part of being present is trying to stay in the present in terms of, what was that like in the past is kind of moving to the past, right? As the person goes through that experience, thinking about a past death or a past achievement, they're doing it in the present moment. So asking a question about what they're going through right now as they think about that is a way to get you both present, both right there in that conversation. And then you leverage the level 2 and the level 3. You notice really obvious things that are going on and you connect with that. Number 3 is wait. Why am I talking? That is what WAIT stands for. And it really is the power of silence. It's hard to demonstrate here on the video because the whole point of the video is I'm sharing things with you. Try waiting 20 to 30 seconds after someone finishes talking. You'll be amazed. Maybe they have something really deep that they're a little bit afraid to share. And if they just have that space, that silence, they'll trust more and they'll share it. You're giving someone space to breathe, space to process, and your full attention and presence. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give another person. So try it out. If you're enjoying this so far, which I hope you are, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for exclusive access to my email and more great tips like this. We're going to jump into part 2 now. Powerful questions. What is a powerful question? That is an open-ended question that really has the other person share something with you and builds connection between you. So if you think about it, we're in the level 2 listening. We're getting curious about the other person. We're asking them some questions. But have you ever noticed when some questions you ask kind of shut the person down? Why did you do that stupid thing? Now the person's defensive, they're making up excuses, they're saying, I didn't do it, it was partly your fault. Not a good way to connect with someone. There's other questions that are kind of, well, did you do this because of this, or not? And then the person will just say yes or no. Doesn't really keep the conversation going, right? So what we want to do is ask questions, and often the best ones are ones that are open-ended, that start with the word what and not the word why. And sometimes it can work, or sometimes it doesn't because it gets back into explaining and defensiveness. So what is your best word to start with? What's going on for you? What was that like? What is that like? So trying to stay in the present moment and use short, open-ended questions. Another key here in terms of powerful questions is not going on and on and on with a question. You want that other person to talk. You want the other person to share. So think about your questions as 5 to 7 words. What's going on with you? What do you think? How do you feel? Now, how do you feel sometimes can get a little bit funky. What's going on with you is an even better question. Do you see that? I just showed that how is still not as good as what. What is a great way to start any powerful question. So I think you're armed with enough information on that. We'll jump into the next. Articulating what's going on. This is another way to stay present and to really show the other person that you see them, that you want to know more about them, that you're curious about them. And then this makes them want to share more, right? I mean, we want to share with people that we feel care. So what is articulating what's going on? And I'll tell you first what it's not. It's not interpreting for the other person what they're feeling. I see that you're feeling really angry and you want to go do this, right? Because the first thing the person would say is, well, I don't really feel that, right? So you seem angry at me is another way to interpret. And so you want to kind of really separate that out. And it's a little bit difficult to do in the beginning, but very much like powerful questions, the shorter the better, more obvious the better. I see your shoulders are tensing up. What's going on, right? We just took articulating what's going on. Your shoulders are tightening up with a powerful question. What's going on? There's no interpreting in there. Then the person can say, yeah, I'm angry at you, or I'm angry at this other person and I'm taking it out on you, or I want to share with you my anger, whatever, or I want to share with you my joy. I notice you have all this energy. What's going on, right? I notice you're really hyper today. What's going on? So you're combining, articulating what's going on in a very simple way. You're not telling them what's going on in a way, but you're telling them you see this energy. Just super, super simple and short is the way to get to articulating what's going on. So kind of dumb it down. Don't use your brain so much is really the key there. And the last thing I want to do is acknowledge you for being here and having this incredible need and want to get better at active listening, better at connecting. This is going to make the world a better place. Did you see what I just did? I acknowledged you for being here. And that's the last skill of connecting, is acknowledging the other person, championing them, and witnessing them. My favorite lines in a movie is by Susan Sarandon, and she said, I want a partner because I want a witness to my life. Think about that. That is so powerful. And so you can give that gift to anyone, any day, by championing them, saying, I know you can do it. I'm here with you, witnessing something amazing that they did, and just saying it like, wow, that's a great achievement you just did. It's great. Isn't it wonderful? We just woke up today. That's terrific. It's wonderful that you went on a run early this morning. And acknowledging them. And one of the important things about acknowledgement is not to say, I feel you are great, because that's about me and how I feel. So it'll take a little getting used to, but in acknowledging, the best way to do it is, you are great. And also be specific so the person doesn't think it's just a platitude. You are amazing to have overcome that. You are so smart that you saw that before anyone else saw that. You are so tender because, and you get my point. So be specific enough with your acknowledgments and try not to have the word I in the sentence. Great, so those are the 6 tips to connecting and being a better listener. There are the levels of listening: being present, wait, which is the power of silence, powerful questions, articulating what's going on, and acknowledging the other person. And if you think about this, these build micro moments of connection. And Dr. Barbara Friedrichsen actually found that that's what love is. Physically, she studied fMRIs and found that people built love one connection at a time. And so you can build love in your life and with your closest friends, with your family, with your partner, just by connecting one moment at a time. Not a huge effort, which is really exciting. And you can do this by just increasing your capacity to be with others, be with their emotions, be with their experiences. Be in the present moment with others. I hope you like this video. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. And check out my other videos. To join the best conversations on your health, you can find me in these channels on social media.